But Jason, this is what pisses me off, and other people say I'm being too hard. I'm like, how can you keep complaining that it's hard taking care of these kids, but you keep on popping them out? And that's the thing I hate about the government, is the government saying, well, black women, y'all need to stop popping out kids, but why don't y'all just take the welfare system away from them, cut them off? Why do you guys keep on giving it to them?
Because the welfare system is a system of white supremacy. Look here, brother, let me explain something to you, okay? And Professor Black Truth understands this. All of our luminaries understand this. You all are being played for fools. You don't understand. I mean, Neely Fuller was so correct. If you don't understand how white supremacy works, everything else will just confuse you. Everything else you think you know about it will just confuse you. Because all the things that you think are working against it work for it. First of all, the reason why it is stupid and silly to talk about black Democrats and black Republicans is because none of them are for you. It's all a shell game where both sides pretend that they are for you or against you. But when you take a look at the legislation, it only goes in one way. Example, Michigan. The emergency finance manager law that is now taking over Benton Harbor and Detroit. That law was passed by Democrat Jennifer Granholm. She was the governor of Michigan. She passed that law. Never used it, but passed it. Why did you do that, Jennifer? Why would you pass a law you weren't going to use? The next governor of Michigan is the current governor, Rick Snyder. And he's been swinging that law like a hammer. But he's only been swinging it in the black areas of Michigan. So it's the shell game. Jennifer Granholm goes to black folk and says, I'll protect you. And then her and Rick Snyder get together behind closed doors. All right, these niggas bought it. So your people, Rick Snyder's people who voted for him, they will love it that he's swinging that hammer. And he will get all the blame for it. Jennifer Granholm, however, was the one who got the law put into place. So she was able to help forward to help actually promote white supremacy while at the same time appearing not to do so. She's telling everybody, well, I passed the law, but I never intended for it to be used like this. You lying wench. If you didn't intend for it to be used like that, then the law wouldn't say you could use it like that. So she did that because it was her job to get it passed. Just like the 3 strikes law. Newt Gingrich was the one who wanted it. Bill Clinton was the one who passed it. And so the first black president, him and Newt got together and said, all right, let's get these niggas locked up. And guess what? Black folk are lined up now to vote for whom? Hillary Clinton. Stop. Not done explaining the game to you here. That is just one example. Now, current example at the White House, Barack Obama, when it's time to come get your vote, can show up at your church. But now he has done everything he can for gays, Hispanics, and now illegal aliens. He's hard on the hoof about that. The Republicans pretend that they are against illegal aliens when in fact they are for them. But they're not going to go tell their voters that. Because the guys who line their pockets are big corporations, and they want illegals here. Truth be told, they want them to stay illegals. They don't actually want them to become legal. They want a quasi-illegal state where they can just use them for labor and send them back home when they're done. And you will notice the exact same pathology with welfare. Welfare is a white empowerment program. TBA, food stamps are a white empowerment program. TBA, how you figure that? Food stamps can only be spent in one place. Where? Where? Hey, somebody on this phone.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. Food stamps only be spent at white businesses.
Food stamps can only be spent at a grocery store or an approved outlet. But 99% of those are owned by whom?
Whites.
And that's the way it's always been. So you are the excuse for these corporations and businesses to siphon money from the government. It is laundered and funneled through you. and cycles back to these corporations. Remember last year when the EBT cards locked up? Who processes those EBT payments? Did you all know that Chase and Wells Fargo process fully around half of the food stamp purchases in America? Yeah, you all thought they only deal with dollars, but they actually deal with the processing of the payments at the card terminals at Walmart, Target, Costco. Well, if you get my point. Kroger's, Albertsons, they actually deal with the processing of the payment. Because just like you swipe your debit card and the bank or Visa gets a piece of that, Wells Fargo, Chase, and several other large banks, they get a piece of when you swipe your food stamps card. You all did not know that. Don't believe me. See, this is the Black Channel. Don't believe a damn word I say. Go look it up. Look it up. Huffington Post. I posted up articles on my website. I posted up articles on my Facebook. Go look it up. I'm telling you. They're the one. You thought you just swipe a card. Because you can cycle through your brain. Well, Visa and MasterCard process my bank. My bank processes my debit card purchase. Yeah, but the state that you are in, basically banks like Wells Fargo and Chase, they went to all the states and said, we will you set up this Louisiana purchase card or whatever that thing is in California. I forget what you call it. And you set up the cards. No. You give us a contract. We will set up everything for you. We will set up the database. We will set up the processing. We've already got the infrastructure in place at the stores. You give us the contract and we will handle the processing of your food stamps for you. The federal government gives you the money and we take care of the processing. And it will be treated as a purchase like any other. Only this purchase goes against a food stamps account and not a bank account. Same thing we do with everything. And guess what? That's who handles. You all thought the state handles it. No! The state does not handle that. The state is simply the facilitator. The banks handle it. And your bastard baby makers are what launder the money. I can take you all the way. See, other people just tell you the big banks. I can name names. Don't you know how much liability and trouble I'm putting myself at right now? I can name names. I can name names for you. Take a look at Donald Sterling. That man became a billionaire. How did he become a billionaire? Section 8 housing. Oh! You all didn't know that. You didn't know that Donald Sterling is a slumlord. And that was where he got the $12 million that would eventually go to buy the Clippers, that would eventually go in the sale of the Clippers for $2 billion. Oh, you didn't know that. You didn't know that all that real estate he owned were not posh houses. Frederick Trump, Donald Trump's father, another slumlord. Silverstein, who owned the World Trade Towers before they got knocked down. He called it tenement housing. What you mean, sir, is Section 8 housing. Isn't that what you really meant, sir? Isn't that what you really mean, is Section 8 housing? No, I can take you all the way there. I can name names. I ain't guessing my way through this. See, other people out there tell you all these generalities. They won't name names because they don't know. They know something is wrong, but they can't tell you what's wrong. And that is why this is the haven of intelligent black thought. You all just found out stuff here tonight that you didn't even know. I name names. I challenge you. Get on Google and try to prove me wrong. Go ahead and look it up and try to prove me wrong on anything I just said. Paste my message on here tonight. Take my audio, chop it up, and see if you can prove me wrong. TBA said that Wells Fargo processes food stamp payments. I've got proof that they didn't. Show me it's wrong. Show me Donald Sterling's not a slumlord taking Section 8 housing. I dare you do it. I dare you to look into it and prove me wrong. I dare you. I challenge anybody. I defy you. Call me out on it if you can. There's a reason why this is the only place that can make 7 a.m. And trust me, as scared as they've been of Hidden Colors, they're going to turn petrified from 7 a.m. I name names. And I'll put it out there. I will not let you go any further with it. It will be substantiated. I will have documentation in place. You see, when I got to document things like this, it takes a while because I document what I do. You will not be on websites talking about, I got this wrong or got that wrong. I've got my documentation. Let's go. Head up. Let's go. Brother, you don't know how deep the game goes. Before the subprime crisis happened, you can go look it up. There were some large tenement housing projects in Chicago. Look it up. Prove me wrong. Come on back and prove me wrong. There was a large tenement housing project in Chicago. I can't remember the exact name of it, but there were some large brown ones. You can go look them up for yourselves. Some large brown ones. And this investment consortium had gotten together $2 billion to buy them. Look it up for yourselves. And then the market tanked. They were speculating, and then the market tanked. They got together $2 billion of private capital to buy a bunch of Section 8 housing in Chicago. You do not take out a loan that large for Section 8 housing if you do not desire Section 8 to exist. Now, they eventually wound up taking a soaking because of that, because the market tanked and they lost their shorts and their investors did. But my point is, brother, $2 billion. $2 billion. Brother, they're not betting against Section 8. They said, I'm betting it all on Section 8. These are, now, do you think there was a black male among that group? Do you think there was a black person anywhere in that group of investors?
Probably Obama.
Well, no. But, good guess. I guarantee you there's not a black investor that was in that group. Show me Donald Sterling's black partners. Show me Frederick Trump's black partners. Or Donald's, for that matter. Show them to me. Show them to me.
Well.
Brother, the game is so... And who do you think they're paying to say, don't you be cutting that Section 8? Brother, we got big money wrapped up in this. We got big money wrapped up in these housing projects. So what does John Boehner do? What does Eric Cantor, who just got voted out, do? What do? They go on Rush Limbaugh, and they go on Bill O'Reilly, and they go on Sean Hannity, and they talk against welfare, and they talk against food stamps. They talk against all that stuff, and then you hear that they've made another deal with Wells Fargo. And where does Wells Fargo get their money from? Where does Walmart? Did you know that I want to say, is it 60% of Walmart? 60% of Walmart's, no, not 60%. I gotta get the exact number on that because I want to be exact. Of Walmart's grocery profits come from food stamps. It's around half. I need to go find the exact number, but it's somewhere in the neighborhood of half. Depending on where you are. It's going to be between a third and a half. I need to look it up. Don't etch that in stone, but they get at least a third of their grocery store profits from food stamps. Now, do you think that Walmart wants to see a third of their profits collapse?
No. Because they're going to lose a lot of money, and that defeats the purpose of capitalism.
Now, and it's not just them. Walmart, Albertsons, Kroger's. We can go Target. We can go down the list. All of them have bet their money on food stamps. Do you think any of them want to see a cut in food stamps? Do you think any of these, and where Section 8 is concerned, those are all white landlords, from the person who owns a single house. It's not a bunch of black folk it would be different if black people own Section 8 housing, but black people are just the mechanism by which we facilitate the transfer of funds for Section 8 housing. Black people don't own any of those properties. Those are all owned by white folk. So do you think that these are the same white people who yell about white power and white supremacy, but they bring illegal aliens to take jobs? They talk out of both sides of their faces. They talk out of both sides of their faces. So when you say, why does the government keep doing it? Brother, they're playing the same game on you that they do about everything else. They pretend that they're against it when in reality they are for it. I dare you or anybody else to show me where John Boehner they can sit up here and get legislation through for corporations. They can get that through so fast it makes your head spin off your neck. But they can't do nothing about food stamps, can't do nothing about welfare, can't do nothing about Section 8, can't make that move. How do you sit up here and can get no bid contracts for Halliburton with no debate, no nothing? But black people are the weakest, most powerless people in America, and you can't cut the food stamp rolls against the weakest people in America? The folk who you can jail just for saying they were licking on a lollipop wrong? And you can't take welfare and Section 8 from them? Get the hell out of here. It's not what you can do. It's what you won't do. But you have a constituency to make happy. So you get on the radio and rah-rah. But when you get back to Washington, Donald Sterling calls the tune. Wells Fargo calls the tune. Don't you know Wells Fargo has got lobbyists that say, don't you cut them food stamps? Do you think that Wells Fargo wants to see a cut in food stamps after what I just explained to you? Do you don't think that their lobbyists are sitting, the lobbyists are sitting right there when John Boehner and them say, when the Tea Party says, let's cut food stamps by 50%, John Boehner's tossed to the lobbyist and then comes back and says, let's cut it by 10. Better yet, let's cut it by 5% over 10 years. Let's do it like that. Knowing full well that at that rate, the rate of expansion is going to outstrip however much you're talking about taking it down. And he knows that. It's a game.
Jason, would you consider the welfare system like a financial plantation? Basically, the overseers are the corporations, and the slaves are the people on welfare that have food stamps.
I would consider it more a money laundering operation.
Okay.
Because they are plugging in, they are taking revenue from the government that does not actually need to be there. They are creating the disease so that they can facilitate the ongoing treatment. So they provide white men provide the Section 8 housing. White men provide the grocery stores. And white politicians take the money from the taxpayers to funnel it back to those corporations. And your black residents and your black bastard baby-making mammies are the excuse that you use for continuing it. Just like your wars in Iraq and Afghanistan are the excuse that you use to keep funneling money to Raytheon and Laurel Hughes and Lockheed Martin. And Professor Truth is absolutely right in the chat room. Wells Fargo also gets money from Western Union by allowing illegal aliens to send money home. The game is so deep in this, people. The game is so deep in this. You got no idea how far it goes.
Are you going to touch on this at 7 a.m.?
I will deal with as much as I can. In my mind, however, because 7 a.m. is about what black folk need to do. If I touch on something like this is something that I would reserve for a documentary about single mothers. So I can take you 360 degrees and show you all the angles of why it is that this giant welfare apparatus is in place, and nothing you do seems to be able to get rid of it. And as long as your females continue to play the game, off it goes. Now, Mona, correct me if I'm wrong. I saw some stories that said that, and I don't know if this is 100% true, because I saw some credible news sources saying this, that in California, that they're either taking or they want to expand to allow food stamps to be accepted at like McDonald's and fast food restaurants.
They want to, they already are.
Okay.
They're welcome at McDonald's, liquor stores, everywhere.
So you can go order. Are you telling me that we can go into McDonald's and we can order a Big Mac and a cafe latte and pay for it on our food stamp card?
Yes. And you can buy cigarettes and all paper goods in the liquor store. Yes, you can.
Are you serious?
Because that's supposed to be,
well,
you're not supposed to be able to do that. Food stamps are only supposed to be for food purchases.
Exactly. but you can do it here.
Now that is a huge. Now, don't you know at that point that's what they did in rap music here? Rap about booze and hoes and smoking weed. Oh, you got food stamps? Here, your obesity rate is not high enough. Let you give them at McDonald's and Wendy's. Let's help you out because you already don't eat healthy enough, but I'm too broke. Here's a food stamps card. Now you can get all the food you need.